All right, I am excited for this one. This is a 1/18 scale four-wheel drive rock crawler. It's a brushed motor, but this is from Redcat, and it's ready to run. The only thing you need is four AA batteries for the transmitter, but aside from that, this will come with a LiPo battery for the car itself. Comes with the transmitter, comes with a charger, all already assembled, ready to go. So I'm excited to open it up. This is from Redcat again, and right now they had a sale when I ordered this for $9.99 plus tax, free shipping. But I think the regular price will be $124.99, so not much more. But yeah, and then you have three colors to choose from. You get the gray, red, and blue. We went with the gray one today. And you can, I checked on Amazon, and Amazon does sell Redcat. It's shipped and sold by Amazon, but the only one they had available at the time of this video was their 10 scale. It's a lot higher, and I think it was $2.99 for that one, but I'll add that in the description if you're interested in trying that one out. But I don't have a review for that one. I haven't tried it myself, but it's an affiliate link, so then if you do look at it and you do like it, I do get a commission for it, and greatly appreciate it because it'll help out this channel, and it'll allow me to buy more toys or more things to unbox and play with. But yeah, so here it is. I opened it up. I see the car here. It looks like it's zip tied, and I see a little zip tie down here by the side. So probably have to pull the whole thing out just to get it out, and then we'll cut that zip tie. But before I do that, 1/18 scale. This is a brushed motor for rock crawling. I have zero experience with rock crawling, but I figure I'd give it a shot. So I doubt I'll do any upgrades for this car itself, but Redcat does offer a whole list of upgrades for brass and aluminum parts, so you could do almost a full metal rock crawling car. But yeah, it's four-wheel drive, comes with a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, which is great because I don't know if you ever played with RC cars back then that uses, I think it was like the FM or AM style transmitter that uses like a long antenna, and then you lose reception every so often. So playing with that was not as fun because the response of the transmitter was really choppy or not consistent. So then sometimes the car would just go off on its own or not even respond to your throttle input or steering input. So 2.4 gigahertz is almost a new standard now, and it's awesome. Yeah, and it comes with a 750 milliamp hour LiPo battery. 750 milliamp hour is actually pretty small, but considering that the car is small and we're only rock crawling, we're not doing any high speed runs, I imagine this battery will last you a good amount of time. Yeah, so that's cool. And then we'll see if there's like a standard size for this battery, because in any case, maybe we could buy extra batteries if you're looking for more run time. But yeah, so here's the box. It's a pretty good sized box. Here's a list of stuff it comes with, and then it says that you'll need 4 AA batteries. So yeah, today we're going to be using 10 AA batteries. I've had these for maybe about, I want to say 5 years now, and most of the time they've just been sitting around, but it seems like they still work. I charged it up and it got to full. And these are the low self-discharge batteries, so they should work pretty good, and it's still nickel metal hydrate. So yeah, I think these are also sold on Amazon, so I'll link these in the description, and I do get a commission if you do buy using my link, so that would be greatly appreciated. So let's go ahead and open this up, and also it comes with ball bearings all around, so that's great. So it's a Lexan body, and it's been a few years since I actually even played with RC cars. I did race Kyosho Mini Z for a few years, and then I did a little bit of off-road buggy racing, but nothing too serious, just out there having fun. So I imagine, I figured this would be a fun car just to get back into it a little bit, have something to bring around with me. 1/18 scale, so it's, you know, portable, it won't take up too much space if I leave it in my car. And then I could just pull it out every so often if I want to play with it. So yeah, here it is. It's basically a box inside with the car mounted right on top, and then you have I'll just start pulling stuff out here. Looks like you get some stickers, you get the charger right here, and a manual. And then here are some, looks like body posts. So maybe if you want to run a different style body, and then you want to use the traditional post style with the body clip, you can do that. And this one doesn't come with body clips, which I think is nice, because typically over time you end up losing the body clips, and then your body starts flopping around. So it's nice that they kind of got rid of that, but it's still a Lexan body, which is cool. Alright, and then next thing is the transmitter. It's all plastic. The steering is also plastic, which is, I think, fine. I think having like a foam wheel or rubber style wheel will wear out over time, and this is nice because there's not really anything to fall apart or degrade from storage. So full plastic. It's looks like the bag. Oh, the bag's taped, so I could open this up. So here's the throttle. You get forward, reverse, just all standard stuff. Steering, there's a 4-channel button here, 3-channel. I don't think that these will do anything right now, but maybe the receiver does have outputs for these, so maybe you can add things later on. But yeah, pretty straightforward. The steering feels fine. Throttle feels good. The ergonomics, pretty nice actually. And I typically have problems with some transmitters where this rest will stick out too far and it'll start to rub over time, but I like how this one seems to be a little stubby, so it might be comfortable for driving a long time. But yeah, you flip this up and then you get all your adjustments here. I see steering trim, throttle trim, steering direction left and right, and then you have the reverse steering, reverse throttle. I figured these are probably already preset, so you'll almost never adjust the reverse of the steering or throttle. And you have a bind button here, so and it looks like there's a red LED, or it says R LED, G LED, so maybe this will be like binding and power, or vice versa. And then you have the power switch here. It looks like this window is kind of transparent, so then it's probably just so you could see that the LEDs are on while you're riding the RC car here, and the power switch is inside here. I don't know how I feel about the power switch being in here. That means that every time you want to use it, you gotta flip this up, power it, close it again. So, you know, maybe if I do play with it pretty often, I might just cut like a little hole here just so I could flip the power without having to open this door every single time. I imagine over time you might just end up breaking the door in accident. So we'll see. And then it looks like to clip the door in, there's 2 little tabs on each side right about here. So then if I do end up cutting this, I'll make sure I don't cut those tabs off so that you can still lock the door down, just so it doesn't flip up from moving around or storage. So yeah, everything's out of the box now. And then to the car, the only way to get this out is cutting the zip tie. I think we'll just cut both sides, and then we'll take the body off and remove the zip tie from there. But here we go. Here's the car. Oil dampening, which is nice, and then doesn't have a, it looks like the dampening works pretty well. It doesn't have much of an extra bounce when you drop it, so that's pretty cool. Looks like it's not bad of a build here for $125, which will be the regular price. And then the body's held down by a quarter turn locking mechanism in the back, and it looks like you just flip the body up, and then the front will probably detach somehow, just like that. So then first to put it in, you'll put the front through this hook here, or this bar, and then the rear will come down. So let's just see. Not too bad. That's the first try of doing that. I think over time you'll be able to do it pretty quick, but looks like you'll just rest this up against the bumper and then pull it back, and that will clip it in just like that, and then push the rear down like so, and then lock it in. So it's not super fast, but it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to do, so I like it. I like this design. I did want to see how it's actually held onto the car. So it looks like through the Lexan here, there's 2 screws behind the sticker. So there's 2 screws that hold the front on, and then the back is sandwiched on with this plate through the back bumper here. I imagine the front might be the weak point of this design. If you do flip it often, you might tear those screws through the Lexan, and that would make the body useless after that, since the mounting is the most important part here. But yeah, so here's the car. You have oil-filled shocks. You got springs here. The shock travel itself is pretty short in my opinion, but it is 50% of the shock, so the design is proper. The spring is seems okay for what this is. I imagine rock crawling, you do want the car to, or at least the shock to compress on its own as you're climbing obstacles, which it looks like it's working. So here's like 3-wheeling here. I could raise it up pretty high and it's still on all 3 wheels, and once I get past this point I could see the rear start lifting. So it's actually actually has a good amount of travel on here, and then the looks like the suspension here could twist, so then you could climb over obstacles. And then here's the motor mounted right in the middle with the gearbox, and then you have the battery back here, the transmitter on the rear. Plastic, these are all plastic. I see that the front CV is metal, and you can see the bearings in there. I can see a bearing for the drive shaft here, and metal pivot points for these. So it's actually a pretty cool design. And so this is my first time with the rock crawler again, and I don't know if it's standard, but I think it's pretty cool that there's actually looks like to be reduction gears for each individual wheel, and then you have a reduction gear, I assume, for the motor also. So it seems like the motor will spin pretty freely and not take up too much load as you're climbing stuff. And yeah, this is a true four-wheel drive. Everything is locked in on four-wheel drive, so I imagine turning will be a little funny if you're not on dirt, just because all that traction from the four-wheel drive, it's not going to want to rotate easily. So something to keep in mind if you are looking for an RC car to just drive around everywhere. This might not be it, just because of the steering is not going to work on pavement really. Yeah, and then you get the skid plates here, metal chassis. So the chassis has 2 plates on each side, one here and then one on the other side, and it looks like just in between what's holding them together is this plastic plate here, and then one in the back which holds the bumpers also. So yeah, the overall unit is, I would say, maybe about 2 to 3 pounds maybe, and feels like a pretty good RC car, at least the weight balance of it based on other RC cars I played with. But I do want to look into one thing, is maybe I'll add some brass weights to it somewhere, maybe right over here on these sides or the front and rear, just to kind of fine tune it to my liking. I did watch some videos, and it seemed like once you do crawl over stuff at a high speed, the car tends to just jump around, which gives you almost an unrealistic experience with rock crawling, at least if you were trying to compare it to full-scale rock crawling. So I did want to see if I could weigh it down a little bit, and will that make the driving experience a little different. So first we will just charge this up, and then we'll give it a test drive and see how it is. So I'll catch up to you guys in about an hour once this battery is charged up. All right, we're almost ready for action. So a couple things I want to note is I don't know if it's the battery that I used or just the battery tray for this transmitter, but the battery itself sits really tight into here. So then I don't know if you could see the divider here, but it's slightly pushed to the side. But basically what happened was when I put the battery in, the spring wasn't able to push the battery forward to make contact with the end over there. So then originally when I had it installed, I don't know if I could push it back and replicate it, but basically went over here to power it on and didn't turn on. So then I opened it up and I saw that the battery wasn't making contact. So then I had to grab the back of it and just push the battery all the way to the end to make sure that they're making full contact. And then I was able to turn the transmitter on after that. So one thing to note, if you do end up putting it together and you don't get power, take a look at the ends over there. And then the next thing is that I noticed well, after experiencing it, I mean this is kind of standard for RC cars, but I would have liked it if they put the power button somewhere on the side. So like even right over here or anywhere near the bottom where you could just kind of stick your finger from under the car just to turn it on. Would have been nice, since this is kind of just a toy to, I guess you could say, bash around with. So having to take the body off every time to power it on is a little bit of more effort than I want to do, but at least you don't have to fully remove the body. You just have to flip it up, and then from there you could reach in and power it on. So I do have the battery charged up. It's not full, but I think it's a good amount now. And then we'll power it up and just kind of give it a test. So just quick push of the button, not even, maybe like 1 second, half a second, power on and off. And then oh, and another thing is that there is 3 channels on this receiver, so then it looks like you could run that third switch if you have any use for it, but that 4th channel on the transmitter will not do anything unless you get a different receiver for that. But car's on, so let's take a look. So here we go. Steering. The steering is actually very responsive, and it seems really very accurate too. So I like that, and it has a good steering angle. It looks like it does. It is a little behind on the speed, so if I max out, there's a little bit of a delay for that servo to go all the way, but I think that's totally fine, especially with rock climbing. You do want something torquey, so I assume that it's geared to where if I'm on an obstacle, I could still get the wheel to turn without stressing out that servo motor. So we got that, and then let's just get up in the air and test the throttle here. So there's a little bit of a dead spot right here. You kind of see my thumb, a little bit of play before you could actually hear the motor start to do anything. But aside from that, once you get going, very smooth motor. All the gearing seems really smooth. I'm spinning at low speed and I don't feel much vibration at all going through the chassis. So here's full speed. It does stop very fast once you let off. I assume that is probably for rock crawling purposes. You don't want it to coast as you're going down. So I think it's cool that you have full throttle control, and it will let you almost kind of like a hill assist per se. So then you could slowly climb up parts and you won't roll forward or backwards. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, yeah, let's get the body on and then we'll just take it outside and play around in the yard a little bit. There's nothing too crazy that we have out there as far as obstacles go, but let's just see it in action. And then after that, I'll fully charge the battery and then I'll just take it out somewhere, find a nice spot for it, do some test driving. Maybe I'll record that when I do and then I'll add it to this video, or if not, I'll do a separate video with kind of like just impressions after playing with it a little bit more. But yeah, let's make our way outside and try it out. So here we are, just right outside the yard, and we got a little bit of grass and a couple of little things we could climb over. So I think first impression that the car does feel like it's a little light for what it is, and the motor's a little fast. So to actually get some steady crawling, you do have to be very sensitive with the throttle here. But it does hop around a little bit as I climb things. So yeah, I do want to weigh it down a little bit more. So it's definitely one thing I'm gonna do first off. But I do like that you could, you do have to be a little sensitive with the throttle here, but you could have pretty controlled climbs. I could stop at certain spots going over this. Forward a little bit more, we have a little bit of a rock garden. So let's just climb over this, see if we could get over this tall ledge here, which we can with ease, so that's pretty cool. I have to give that a hard bump. There you go. And we're over it. And if you actually look, this ledge is the same height, or if not taller than the wheel, so it's pretty cool that you could just climb right over that. There you go. So yeah, we're gonna add some weight to this and we will try it again with other obstacles. But overall, for $99, which is the price I paid, but $125 would be regular price, I think it's a great toy to just play around with, kill some time, even if you play with it for a few hours. Hour per cost, or the cost per hour is not bad at all. So yeah, highly recommend.